Of the Chelsea Asian Tour 2008. In just under 15 minutes time, we'll be witnessing the all-important clash between our very own Malaysian selection up against Chelsea FC. Malaysia, of course, is the third and the final stop for Chelsea's Asian Tour for 2008. And after recording 2 straight wins, beating the Chinese side 3-0, and then moving on to Macau and beating the Macau side 7-0, it's up to our boys now to try and stop Chelsea from recording a third straight win in their Asian Tour. Anyway, before we dwell further into these two teams, let me first introduce my studio guest. I don't need to introduce him actually. It's a former Malaysian international, Sarbagat Singh. Shabby, welcome once again to Astro Super Sport. And of course, it's a big moment here. Chelsea's second trip to Malaysia. We all recall back in 2003, some 5 years ago, they gave us a 4-1 lesson in football.
And at that time, Roman Abramovich had just bought the club, and the club, went on to big times, great things. They achieved great things. Of course, we have to mention Jose Mourinho because he's part of that. And I think this team now, Zainal, I mean, they are very much better than they were 5 years ago when they last came. And I think now they are on the threshold of bigger things as well, especially with Phil Scolari in charge.
So new horizons being charted here by Chelsea, especially with the arrival of Philippe Scolari. And of course, the Chelsea team arrived on Malaysian shores last Sunday evening, and everybody was waiting for the team to arrive, for the airline to touch down, Shabby, with the team. There was a lot of quite a number of Chelsea fans just waiting for their superstars to arrive.
I think not only the Chelsea fans, I think, Premier League fans, English Premier League fans, they want to see the heroes close up. And there's always a buzz and excitement whenever a team as big as a Premier League comes down. And I would say they don't come any bigger than this.
And just looking there is their new manager, Philippe Scolari. Shabby, how do you see him adapting to this Chelsea side with all the superstars?
I think most importantly, without talking about the technical side of football, I think personally, I feel he is the right personality. He's got character, and he's a very, very big personality himself. And I think that is what is needed for Chelsea. Yes, we can. They had Avram Grant, who did not perhaps have that personality or the respect that Phil Scolari commands. And straight away we can see there's a new buzz about Chelsea.
A lot of talk on Frank Lampard leaving, but confirmation from Inter Milan saying that they will not be making any more new signings. So it looks like he'll be finishing his contract with Chelsea, Shabby, this season.
Well, deep down, I don't think Frank Lampard would have wanted to leave Chelsea. Yes, of course, there is a friendship factor as well. But I think he's Chelsea through and through, and he's a wonderful player, a goal-scoring midfielder. It's not easy to find players like that. And I'm so glad, that finally the rumours have been put to rest.
Shabby, Nicolas Anelka, do you see him playing a big role in Chelsea this season?
Well, he's got a lot of pressure on him. This is the season where he has to put pressure on Drogba and claim the first choice starting position as a striker. Has he got the hunger? Has he got the desire? Zainal, will all be revealed. And I think, judging from his pre-season performances so far in the 2 games that they have played, he seems to be enjoying himself. He seems to be finally integrating into the squad.
Shabby, the midfield Mistro of Makelele have moved on to France, but the arrival of Deco still proved to be is going to be a headache for Scolari in midfield.
Well, I think Deco's name will be the first one when it comes to naming the midfield, or rather second to Frank Lampard. Yes, Deco is Phil Scolari favourite. I personally think that Deco could struggle in the Premier League because he seemed to have lost his hunger and desire a little bit at Barcelona. But having said that, again, maybe the time now is right. New club, new lease of life, and for Deco to kick on.
What about Andrei Shevchenko now? He's had a miserable time under Mourinho, Shabby. We saw him just now arriving at KLIA. What do you think his season is going to be like?
I feel for him. I think, as a footballer, every footballer wants to play regularly, but I think what is holding him back is just the Roman Abramovich factor. They are rumored to be big pals, and I think that's the reason why he's staying. But I have a feeling that, I think Scolari can get Shevchenko to his best, his old best before, because I think Scolari has got that personality, and he will encourage Shevchenko, and I would love to see Shevchenko scoring a few goals for Chelsea.
And earlier just now we saw the Chelsea team arriving at the Palace of Golden Horses, where they will be staying for their stay here in Malaysia. Let's hear what Scolari has to say in the press conference that evening on his team's performance in the Asian Tour.
I don't know if this team are prepared for to play against Chelsea, because Chelsea is a strong team. But I think step by step we may make 11 goals in two games, but friendly games and training, you know. I think this game is more difficult than the other two games, and step by step we arrive in Russia. In Russia we know everything about our team, because we play against Lokomotiv. This team play in middle of the season, are ready, and after we play the second game, you know. There I know if my team is ready or in good condition, not for these 2 or 3 games here, because this
Chelsea, I mean, they got nothing to lose. They got all to play, and they have to find for a stage for the tournament that we are actually preparing, that is for the ASEAN Football Federation Cup in December. So the boys are ready to go, and we are looking forward to the game.
Well, that concludes the press conference for Samsung Chelsea Asia Tour 2008. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you.
Of the Asian Tour, Shebi, Scolari has mentioned it's only training now as he gets to grip with the players he have. But how do you see them performing today up against our Malaysian?
I don't think they will let up, Zana. I mean, there's 2 parts to pre-season training. Part 1 is where you do a lot of hard work in training, and then you play easier friendly matches.
Right.
In part 2, you fine-tune the team, and that's when you play tougher opponents. So in part 1 is where the hard work is all involved, and Scolari will be expecting nothing but 100% from all the players.
And
it's a new challenge for everybody, for the coaches, for us, because yeah, it starts a new time. We lost our manager last year with Mourinho. Then Avram came. He worked a few months, maybe 8 months for the club. He did it very well. But now we have Philippe Scolari, and everybody is excited. Everybody is looking forward for the next season, because he's a great coach. He won the title, the World Cup with Brazil. He worked very well with Portugal the last year. So yeah, it's a great challenge for everybody, and we're looking forward to this.
of the Adidas store. But we were just looking at the team list, Xavi, and it appears that Michael Ballack won't be playing after all.
No, I don't think so, simply because of his Euro 2008 exertions. He's given more time to rest. And while the others are already progressing with their pre-season, Michael Ballack is only starting. So it'll be too much of a risk for him to play in this game. But I'm sure he's been working very, very hard in training.
And several players who has so far impressed in the 2 games which Chelsea have played in China and Macau has to be Sean Wright-Phillips, Xavi. He's given the opportunity by Scolari, and he scored a goal each in both the games.
I think that is what Scolari brings to this team. You know, he
Transfer window, however, is still open. Xavi, do you think Scolari might still be looking around for new players?
It will be interesting, Zana, because as yet we haven't heard any rumors about him being linked to any player apart from Robinho of Real Madrid. Now I think Robinho could be a major target. I think Robinho could really contribute to this Chelsea team because I don't think Flora Malouda has done too well for them. I don't think Kalu has progressed as he was expected to.
Right.
So that could be a possibility, and I would love to see Robinho be in the Chelsea team.
Right, and our backroom boys are of course on hand during Chelsea's warm-up practice at the Shah Alam Stadium earlier today. And Shabby, just looking at the teams preparing for the game itself, one thing which attracted my attention during this stint was the goalkeepers actually training with rugby balls, Shab.
Indeed, Zainal, you know, it is about the flight of the ball, which is very important. And you know, nowadays the way they make the footballs have a tendency to swerve and dip. And when you are playing with a rugby ball, it prepares you for that. And also for the fact that, you know, when you practice with the rugby ball, the bounce is unpredictable, which means that, you know, it really sharpens your reflexes. So it's a very good way of improving on your reflexes and your agility.
And just looking at Michael Ballack there very casually going to join the practice. How do you see Scolari just adjusting to life as a club coach as compared to an international coach, Shabby, as well as we see the numbers of players trying to impress him to get into the first team?
I don't think there'll be a problem for Scolari. He has got previous experience before he took over the Brazilian national team. He enjoyed success with Palmeiras. So he's been there, he knows what is expected, and I think after a stint as international manager, I think, you know, he himself is itching now to get back into club management. The day-to-day involvement with the players, the day-to-day preparation, you know, is something that he's not alien to, but something I think, you know, that will drive him on to the next level.
Shabby, at left back, Wayne Bridge was given a new lease of life with a new contract now. How do you see that perhaps transforming onto the playing field?
I think once again, you know, it puts pressure on Ashley Cole. Wayne Bridge, in my opinion, is a better defender. Ashley Cole gets forward much better than Wayne Bridge does. So there are going to be matches, you know, especially when you play at home and you think we've got to get more people forward. When you're playing away from home, you think, you know, we need to be more stable at the back. So Scolari, you know, is very good when it comes to his tactics, and I'm sure that every player, I mean, be it Wayne Bridge or Ashley Cole, I don't think they'll be disappointed. I think they will be given enough playing time.
Right, okay, thank you, Shabby. We'll take another short break. When we come back, it's team news for you, so join us after this short break.
A chance to stretch his legs.
And the Chelsea team lineup, Shabby, Michael Essien slipping down that defensive role in the absence of Bosingwa and Ferreira.
Well, no surprise, because he's played in that position before. Not his best position, but once again explains, you know, how versatile he is. But it is interesting that John Obi Mikel is the one who's going to be taking on the Makelele role, because in my opinion, I think he's ready for it. But a lot of will be expected from Deco, Sean Wright-Phillips and Joe Cole in this game especially.
Right, and we look at Sean Wright-Phillips, as you've mentioned, together with Joe Cole. But Cole has been used sparingly before, Shabby. Do you see him going back to that role into this new season?
No, I think Scolari will look at him and say that, you know, he's my first choice player. He's very consistent, and I think consistency was something that he gained last season, and Scolari will continue.
The Malaysian lineup there, Syukur Radan captaining the side with Amirul Hadi Zainal on the flanks, Shabby.
Yep, and it'll be interesting, but I'm especially looking out at young Amirul Hadi Zainal, who has come on in leaps and bounds, who is one of the best midfielders, young midfielders I've seen in the country, and of course the experience of Hairuddin Omar, Hardy Jaffa, Indra Putra. They might not have the legs, but in this game their experience is going to be important. Safi Salih excites me, and I think he will enjoy his tussle against Carvalho and John Terry.
And just looking at the formation of Chelsea here with Terry Carvalho, we would expect Essien to slip to the right defense role, Shabby, today with Deco, Cole, Lampard, Wright-Phillips and Obi Mikel in midfield.
Well, indeed, it's going to be a 4-3-3 with Bridge, Terry Carvalho and Essien at the back. Obi Mikel well, sitting in there with Lampard and Deco pushing on in support of Anelka, with Sean Wright-Phillips wide right and Joe Cole wide left. So it's a very, very attacking lineup.
And we can see that the stadium at the back of the goal mouth there is packed with the supporters. The Malaysian team, Shafi Salih up front alone, and Harudin Omar would certainly be looking to shake hand with John Terry, Shabi.
Yeah, I mean, he out-jumped John Terry and scored a goal the last time they met. So it'll be good to see how much the two players have progressed over the last 5 years. But I'm not really sure about the two fullbacks. Irwan Fadli, who's been out of the game for very long, but he's just come back in. He's having a reasonable season with his club team.
Aidil and Zamani?
Aidil and Zamani, I think they, in my opinion, I think they are too alike. They're not the biggest. So there is one area that Chelsea could exploit. It is the lack of inches in the centre-back positions.
Right. And of course, we all know the powers of Chelsea down the middle, Shabi. Just looking at the Malaysian team lineup down the middle with Hardy, how do you see them perhaps coping with the onslaught from Chelsea?
I think if there is a positive coming into this game is the way that Chelsea are lining up. I think, I would like, if I was playing, I would love to see SCN in a right back's position, not in midfield, because he's as strong as an ox. It'll take about 5 players to bring him down. Right. So they are missing that strength, that physical strength of. And I think Indra Putra, Hardy, Harudin will see more of the ball.
We haven't spoken about the two goalkeepers, Shabi. Let's start with Peter Cech. Of course, he will certainly want to forget that nightmare in the Euro 2008.
Well, he's got to prove himself again. I know this is harsh on goalkeepers, but goalkeepers are remembered more for their mistakes. And he made a very, very big one. And this is the one season, where he'll work extra hard to erase that memory. Hopefully, from the fans' minds. But like I said, Zainal, it is a tough position. You don't get points for making great saves, but you are remembered for your mistakes.
What about Helmi Eliza in the Malaysian goal?
Well, Helmi's been consistent with Kedah. He's used to playing high-pressure games because with Kedah winning the treble last season, winning the double already this season. So it's fair to say, that he looks like a goalkeeper who's used to playing under pressure. But this is a different test for him, and I wish him well.
And Shabi, one player who's on the bench for Chelsea, Franco Di Santo, he scored in both the games in China as well as in Macau. So it's a new, fresh face from Chelsea here.
Well, indeed it is, and once again he will get playing time again in this game, I'm sure. He's a physically a strong lad. He's tall and he's got wonderful skills. So once again, I mean, he could be the big surprise. In a team of stars, we could see this youngster perhaps seal a place for himself.
So it's the Malaysian selection against what Sir Alex Ferguson called as the golden oldies of Chelsea. Shall we comment on that, Chef?
No, I have to disagree because I think, the league is a marathon, it's not a sprint. And in the marathon, you need experience. Experience is very, very important. And experience is something that Chelsea have got in abundance.
Right, and just looking at that views of right now at the Shah Alam Stadium of the flag being brought in, the fair play flag. So it's time for us now to actually cross over to the Shah Alam Stadium with our commentator Macefield as well as Steve Darby.
It's a Samsung Chelsea Asian Tour 2008. It's the third and final game that Chelsea will be playing in the Far East. They've been to China, they've been to Macau, and now it's Malaysia that stand in their way of triumph and not conceding any goals. It's been a wonderful experience. The crowds are out in full force today in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. As we just have a look down the line at the Chelsea side, yet to concede a goal under new coach Luis Felipe Scolari, and it's a very attack-minded lineup that he has selected. As for Malaysia, damage limitation and experience is what it's all about today. They'll be going out there and using a formation to make it very, very difficult for Chelsea to try and break them down. I'm fortunate enough to be joined in the commentary position by Perak's head coach, Mr. Steve Darby. Steve, we are expecting Chelsea to come away victorious in this, but can Malaysia do what they did in 2003 and maybe keep it respectable, be drawing at half-time, something along the lines of that? Would that be considered success for Malaysia?
I think it would be, because we've seen the two previous results where Chelsea have absolutely demolished the Chinese sides. So, firstly, can we get a goal? That would be fantastic for the morale of the players. Can we keep it sensible? Can we keep it smart? And I think the way Satyen's lined the team up in a 4-5-1, they'll be trying to retreat to the halfway line, leaving the lone striker Shafi Ali up front. I mean, and what a game this poor fella's going to have. He's up against John Terry and Carvalho. If he plays well tonight, he's some plays on the next plane abroad.
One thing's for sure, there's been no punches pulled by Luis Felipe Scolari. In yesterday's press conference and interview, he said they will chase for 4 titles this season. That would mean a clean sweep that's never been done before. It was hard enough when Manchester United did the treble back in '99. Chelsea, though, have got bigger fish to fry. There is still speculation about a lot of players. They're still interested in bringing Robinho to the club. Kaká as well has also been linked to the club, although Peter Kenyon has come out just recently and said they have told us that he is not for sale, so we will not put an offer in. Drogba, Wright Phillips and Lampard, 3 players for Chelsea where anything could happen very, very shortly.
Yeah, we're looking here now, the two captains, Terry and Syukur Adan, who's captain of Selangor, whose home ground this is. We are playing in the best football stadium in Malaysia. It's got the best pitch, and the atmosphere is tremendous. If Malaysia get a goal first, this place could light up. And we're also fortunate to have, I think, the best referee in Asia, Subkidin. Hopefully he'll be going to the World Cup. Very, very sensible referee. Very rarely uses yellow cards and red cards. Talks to players, fluent in English, so there'll be no problem with the Chelsea players. So a good choice for a good referee. Keep the game flowing. I'm sure we will. And I think we're going to get a good game tonight.
Chelsea have gone with different formations throughout this pre-season tour as we take a look at the bench, and that's our first look there at the man who has been entrusted with taking Chelsea forwards, Luis Felipe Scolari, on the right-hand side with a white shirt on. Steve Clark, the assistant, just receiving the piece of paper now. They will go with a 4 at the back here. Essien will play right back. Terry, Carvalho and Bridge will be the back 4. Lampard, Obi Mikel and Deco in the middle of the park, but Deco literally be given a free license to go forwards, right? Phillips, Anelka and Cole. So very, very attack-minded formation and line-up there for Chelsea, Steve.
Very much so, and in terms of Malaysia, they've gone with a flat back 4 as normal. They're going to try and squeeze it. Syukur will sit in front of the back 4 and try and be almost like a front sweeper. Midfield 4 with Hardy and Hairudin trying to support the lone striker Shafi. Wide men, Indra and Amir, they've got pace to burn. Can they use it?
That's going to be the burning question. The question is, will the fullbacks be able to keep up with them? There's 3 players in this Chelsea side that did play against Malaysia in 2003. Wayne Bridge, John Terry and Frank Lampard. Of course, Wayne Bridge actually flew out after signing back in England to join up and played in that game. That game was held over at Bukit Jalil, the national stadium there. But it's all about Shah Alam now as the ball goes wide. Indra Putra looking to get straight onto it. Strong challenge there straight away. Wright Phillips having to trap back, but taking no prisoners was here one.
And we saw Nicholas Anelka before. This is not his first visit either. He was here in the World Youth Cup 1997, and he played in Perlis of all places.
Pitch is a little bit wet underfoot. We've been down there, inspected the pitch. Not too bad. The ball's moving well on it, as it's the trusted partnership at the back from John Terry and Carvalho looking to keep possession. Essien, who's been asked to just slot in at right back today. See there, Malaysia trying to force the issue and giving the ball away here. One again inside. A little flick from Syukur didn't come off. And then that's just clipped forwards from Zamani into absolute no man's land. But nice little fresh start from Malaysia. They're not being overawed, as it were, Steve.
No, I think the most important thing is, can they keep the ball for as long as they can? Because if you give it away, they're not going to get it back for a long time. And the team with the ball, I always remember Marino saying that it's less tiring when you've got the ball.
I'm sure that's something that you preach to your players as well, Steve, as there's a strong challenge goes in there. Obi Mikel keeps the ball, looks for Joe Cole, skips past one challenge. Cole waits for support, just twists back, comes back to Bridge. Obi Mikel, little layoff and turned around the corner from Lampard, and Nelka couldn't bring that down. Closely marked and closely shepherded there from Ideal. That's a lovely turn from Hadi Jaffa. But then just tries to be a little bit ambitious, but Wayne Bridge has made a mistake. There's an opportunity here! Just wide, and Amir had the opportunity to give Malaysia the lead. The slip coming from Wayne Bridge. Amir got the ball out of his feet, but just pulled the trigger. But unfortunately, Steve, just pulled the shot wide.
What a chance for the young 20-year-old Hail Solango to be a hero. This time last year, he was playing in the President's Cup. It's like the reserves, and he was close. He did the right thing. He hit it a cross-check, and I think if it was on target, it'd have gone in.
John Terry couldn't get there in time, so first blood, as it were, to Malaysia, creating and carving open the first opportunity. That will really settle the side down. Hadi Jaffa, whose turn and twist on this near side created that opportunity. Good skills from Safi Saleh. He gets fouled, and that's a free kick in a dangerous position. Now, you were talking to me before, Steve, about Chelsea's physical presence. Can Malaysia cause a problem from a set piece in this sort of area?
Well, they shouldn't be able to, let's be honest. Physically, you look at them, they're absolute monsters, Chelsea. My worry will be when Chelsea attack. Here, I think Malaysia have got to try and work something on the ground. If they go for it in the air, I can't see them. It's going to have to be a mistake by a Chelsea player here.
Check getting his troops organised and ready. They're looking to hold the line. A little bit of jostling going on. Whipped into the near post. Little deflection. Petacek, though, just smartly shuffles across and claims that. Indra was with the effort. That will mean that Malaysia can just drop back off now and try and frustrate Chelsea, which is what they seem to be doing at the moment.
And that's exactly what they're under orders to do. Hardy's done well the first few minutes here. He's winning things, he's pinching the ball. And they're doing exactly as they were told to. They slot it back into their own half, letting the back four get it. Then you start getting them at the halfway line.
Flip forwards from John Terry, but just a little bit too far. Wayne Bridge unable to get there. There's 4 players in this Malaysian side that played in that 2003 game. Irwan, Haridin, Indra Putra and Zamani, so they won't be overawed by the situation. Lampard just keeps it simple. Obi Mikel entrusted in spreading the ball forwards, but easily dealt with by Ideal. Lampard clips it wide. Good strong header and a brave header as well from Irwan, as Wright Phillips put his foot up to try and bring it down. Scolari not happy and barking orders from the bench.
The twin centre-backs for Malaysia, Zamani and Ideal, great footballers, both got pace. What they haven't got is height.
It's okay at the moment because it's only Nicola Anelka who's the lone striker and the target man. Lampard picks it up again. Chelsea just looking to keep possession and pass and play the ball around. Good movement as Wright Phillips looks to come inside. Deco, new signing that cost £8 million from Barcelona, with a lovely ball forwards. Cole flicks it on. Lampard just couldn't get it out of his feet, but again, last-ditch defending from Ideal meant that the shot didn't come off from Chelsea. That was more promising from Chelsea, though, a little bit more direct from them. Bridge. Just to get it all the way out wide here. Wright Phillips goes and closes down, and not so much panic, but cool heads needed there in the Malaysian defence as they play their way out very nicely as well, Steve.
Yeah, Zamani can play central midfield or sweeper. Very competent footballer. Tried to sign him twice, stayed loyal to Pahang.
Deco putting himself in there to win the ball back off. Alio rattles it forwards into Wright Phillips, and Indra Putra back there chasing as Anelka. We see him for the first time. Look at that change of pace. Anelka crosses. Cleared. Good defending from Zamani, just blocking it out to his defensive partner, Ideal. The closing down coming from Essien and forcing Malaysia back into their final third. But that's better from Chelsea, a little bit more direct.
I think to put things in perspective here, that Deco earns in one day what Hardy Jaffa earns in a year. So we talk about money in the game. There's money in, this is the highest level in the world now at Chelsea.
It is the best league in the world, the Barclays Premiership. That's why all the players flood there. Here's Wright Phillips round the back again. Again, good, solid defending from Malaysia. Again, Zamani it was coming across to cover. They'll want to try and keep it as tight as possible for as long as possible. First goal that Chelsea scored against Chengdu in Macau was after 14 minutes. That was Nicola Anelka. And Kalu scored against Guangzhou Pharmaceuticals on 19. So they'll try and keep it tight.
This could be a problem, Paulo. The height. Massive height is different.
That's whipped in and headed clear, just flicked the way it was. Zamani yet again getting his head to the ball. It's all about the quality of the delivery, and just a little bit short from Deco then.
Malaysia mixed up as both zone and man for man. They zoned in the 6-yard box and then stuck individuals on people like Terry.
Joe Cole, last season's player of the year for Chelsea. Gets the ball back, finds Obi Mikel. Deco, who's dropped deeper, from wide to Essien. He's actually said that this could be very, very good for Chelsea coming here because of the heat and the humidity. Will adapt the players very well for the long season that's coming up. Essien keeps possession. Deco, Lampard. Very much a patient game here from Chelsea, not getting sucked into trying to do it too quickly. Lampard. Block here again from Zamani. Valeo just hooks that one on, and Nelka playing on the shoulder. Zamani with the header. Straight to Irwan. Just lashes that one clear. Bridge just flicks it wide. Joe Cole back there to try and help. Here's Bridge again, who's just signed a new contract with the club. Joe Cole. To the little window with an Alka, but it didn't come off.
I think
if they're just a little bit overzealous.
Yeah, if they're going to be frustrated, these players, I think the key is the fullbacks to get forward. If Malaysia block in the middle like it seems to be, we're going to have to look at Essien and Bridge to get forward. And in Michael Essien, you have the perfect player to do that.
You'll remember his goal from, well, almost 2 seasons ago against Arsenal, where he forced to play at right back, but bumped forwards and scored one of the best goals of the season from that right back position. Here he is on the ball now, taking the throw. Just works the line. Wright Phillips unable to bring that one down. Essien will have another go. Obi Mikel comes short this time. Again, possession being kept. Frank Lampard with a little give and go. Back here's Wright Phillips. Just a little bit slow in trying to release the ball there, which meant he got closed down quickly. When it was needless as Wright Phillips whips one in. Just bounced straight up in the air. The keeper's come, and Helmy managed to get it at the second attempt, but a few frustrating moments there if you're sitting on the Malaysia bench, Steve.
Yeah, Helmy's the keeper from Kedah, or the all-conquering Kedah, who got the treble last year and got 2/3 of the treble again this year. Can be fantastic, this boy. Can be erratic at times, but can be fantastic. So, shot stopper, superb.
Like you mentioned, though, he's the only player from Kedah represented in this game, which is somewhat surprising when you think about the clean sweep that they obtained last year.
Yeah,
and they're looking to do this year.
There's 4 from Selangor in the team, 2 from Pahang, 1 Perak, 1 UPB My Team, the new team, 1 Negri Sembilan and 1 Perlis.
In there, just barking out some instructions and orders to his players too. Chelsea won't be phased at all. They'll just look to keep possession, which is exactly what they do, and just use this more as a training exercise. In his press conference 2 days ago, Scolari turned around and said, I need 14 to 15 more days with my players to know what my starting lineup will be. He said already, having worked with the players for 15 days, he's got a rough idea of key positions and key personnel, but it's who plays alongside them that's going to be interested in the next few weeks. Let's not forget Michael Ballack is here as well.
He's not exactly spoiled for choice, though, is he? Malouda, Alex, DeSanto, the young boy, Sinclair, and a certain Shevchenko we might see tonight. I hope we see him tonight.
He's actually the only player that hasn't taken any part in this tour so far, hasn't played a single minute, due to a little strain that I'm told that he's received. I think the reason that we're not seeing Michael Ballack as well is that he only joined the party on Saturday and had his first training session in Macau with Chelsea after the Euro finals. So not deemed fit enough to take the field of play in this game. They do move on from here and go to Moscow, though, where they play Lokomotiv Moscow on the 1st of August as Joe Cole gets in behind and flag goes up, offside. Fans getting a little bit restless here. They want to see a goal, don't they?
Yeah, and if Chelsea's try and get the offside drop, this time I think it was right. There's some very flexible offside rulings in Malaysia, we've found. That might frustrate Chelsea more than anything.
Trusted with a big job. Scolari comes with a reputation after guiding Brazil to the World Cup finals and winning it, and also doing wonders with a Portuguese side that's always shown so much promise, flair, but actually got them playing as a unit. And there's Chelsea now closing down very quickly as Wright Phillips comes forwards. Wright Phillips jinks to the left. It's still Wright Phillips. Wright Phillips with the left foot. Good block, good defending. Ideal it was that time.
Yes.
Joe Cole down the left-hand side gets challenged from behind and playing a little bit overzealous from Ideal. Here's that run from Wright Phillips again, just jinking past players, looking for his 3rd goal of this tour, the Samsung Chelsea Asian Tour. Scored against both Chengdu Blades and Guangzhou Pharmaceuticals. Can he notch today? Lampard entrusted with whipping this one into the box. Obi Mikel's gone forwards. John Terry, Carvalho. It's clipped to the edge. It's going to be Deco. Deco! What a save! Straight off the training ground, that one. Great ball from Lampard. Deco pulled the trigger. But what a fantastic save from Helmy. All quality though, Steve.
I thought 3 excellent pieces of technique. That wasn't an easy free kick. He's put it right on his toe. The perfect volley and a fantastic save. Like we said, this fella is a great shot stopper. But look at the technique there. Eyes on the ball, doesn't look at the goal.
Malaysia looking to try and clear their lines, but struggling. Deco keeps possession. Joe Cole involved. Deco with some nice footwork there, just rolls his foot over the ball, keeps possession. Carvalho. Deco, a little bit of space, closed down, but a little bit of panic stations in the Malaysian defence here now. That's a very good play to keep the ball. Hadi Jaffa plays it forwards. Safi Saleh looks to create a yard for himself, but
You should take your time here now, Malaysia. Every throw in, every free kick, take your time. Suck the air in, get the breath in, because this pace is at 1 step above what they normally play.
Elka. Just gave that one away there. The options were there, but Elka just unable to keep possession. Lampard slides in. Check will pick that one up, no problems. Long ball for Anelka. Anelka's through. Anelka! Helmy with a good save. No real support for Anelka. Pulls it back now, Wright Phillips. Stabs and pokes at the ball, but unfortunately pokes it high and wide. Steve, another opportunity for Chelsea. They're starting to find their stride now.
Great through ball, paced by Anelka. But what a good save. Watch how he's planted himself. He stood still, he isn't off balance. And it was a good early shot by Anelka.
Let's not forget, though, that there are players out there that played in the Euro Championships as well. Chelsea played 62 games last season throughout the whole year. They won 39, drew 17. They only lost 6. They scored 106 goals and conceded 44. 32 clean sheets as well. Proves that they are top class and top draw when it comes down to getting results. Amazing facts and stats there, really, Steve. As Chelsea win possession back again, but Joe Cole just overplays it that time.
Well, the good thing for Shuko there is that Joe Cole did exactly what he did. So he'll be a happy man, Shuko, when he sees someone else doing that.
Joe Cole, the highest appearance maker last year, 45 starts and 10 as substitute, so no reason or no wonder he was voted Chelsea's Player of the Year.
Obviously fitted into Grant's scenario more than Marino's. But entertaining player, which is what I think Chelsea want, or Abramovich wants. Whereas Marino was more pragmatic, win first, entertain second.
They work hard as a unit as well to try and close down. So just over 15 minutes gone here at the Sharlam Stadium. It's still 0-0. The stadium's still allowing more people in as well, so the crowd's growing all the time.
It's a good crowd. If Amir had got that goal in the first minute, this place would have erupted. The Malaysian fans love a goal.
Lampard. His goal is just stroking it wide, and Nelka's pulled into a wide position, just checks back and just keeps it. Obi Mikel, Essien. These players is unquestionable, though. The way that they control the ball. Deco with the outside of the foot just nonchalantly flicks it out wide, and could be a chance here. Joe Cole looking for the little give and go. Bridge picks it up, crosses it in. Elney had to keep his eye on the ball and did. Danger averted for at least a few more moments.
He'll have enjoyed that save before. That would have given him the confidence. He'll be wanting to shoot now. He fumbled in the first few minutes of the cross. Once he got that great save in, though, now he'll be loving every minute of this.
Deco. Just wants to set it forwards, but the run was just a little bit flat from Frank Lampard. Safi Salih's done well there to pick this ball up, and he's all on his own, so going to try and fight and keep possession, but Deco just showing that it's not about flair and going forwards, chasing back and winning it back.
That's what the good pros do, and we see Wayne Bridge sliding down the left again.
There he is. Just bounces over his head. It's unfortunate that did create the yard for himself.
I think we might see Shafi change in the second half, because there's only so much you can do as a lone striker up against Terry and Carvalho.
That will be to work extremely hard. Obi Mikel, the Nigerian international, just slowing it down. Carvalho as composed as ever, just to stroll out with the ball at his feet. Essien can take on Indra Putra. Again, just the legs to keep possession. Mike Phillips just clip, but play allowed to continue. Mikel. John Terry breaking forwards and going past two Malaysian defenders and puts it wide. Little give and go with Wayne Bridge, just couldn't find him. Won't leave Chelsea short at the back, because as Steve's already mentioned, Safi Salih is up there all on his own. Deco. Picks it up in a wide position now. Just fires it into Wright Phillips, and defending very closely marked by Irwan Fadzli, the only player from UPB, my team. 7-year-old, quite composed there. Now ball given against.
It's very difficult if you're Malaysia, because if you go out all-out attack, you might get a goal, you might be a hero, but the odds are far greater that you're going to get a hammering. They could have been 3-0 down now. At least now they're in the game. They've had a chance, they're in the game. The confidence might grow. Physically, to me the biggest worry now will be physical.
Here's that volley again from Deco. As you mentioned, perfect technique and a fantastic save. But like you said, 3 bits of individual skill, wasn't it? Because the ball from Lampard had to be pinpoint.
Not easy, not an easy ball to give.
Here come Chelsea again. Lampard. Anelka. Anelka just wrestled to the ground, shall we say.
Well, smart player, Anelka. He plants his body in the way, stood his ground, got knocked over, drew the free kick. He's happy, got a free kick.
You have a look at some of the moves that he's had. He's played for some of the biggest clubs in the world, and Chelsea really are looking to try and impose their brand on Asia. It's a great ball threaded forwards there from Sukor. Amir, the man who had the chance early on, Carvalho, just caught in two minds, and Pericek just flicks it away. So Malaysia not totally out of this at all. There's Sukor again. Hadi Jaffa battling away in the middle of the park. Blue shirts surround the man with the ball. The composure's kept from Malaysia.
I think what you said's important as well. Even though they're stars, they're still working hard. They're closing Malaysia down. They're doing the dirty work. They're doing the pro job.
Hadi Jaffa tries one from range, just tries to catch out Pericek, and I can see you shaking your head sitting next to me, Steve, because...
Well, he did it in the AFC Cup. He caught Lionel Lewis out from Singapore from about 40 yards. He meant that. This fella believes he can score from any distance. He really meant that.
Right, Phillips just tucks it up the line, and Nelka playing on the shoulder, looking to just sneak in behind, but again, I deal with good solid defending. And Nelka wins it back though from Irwan, looks up, tried to find Joe Cole. He comes to Essien, who's on the edge of the box. Essien comes inside, Essien shoots! Almi just bats it down. An easy save and a comfortable height, really.
I think what's pleasing about Malaysians defending is they haven't given away too many free kicks, because Chelsea will punish you if you give away dumb free kicks. There's always going to be free kicks. I mean, that's the part of the game, we know that. But if you don't give away the stupid ones, then that's a big advantage to yourself.
Goal inside to Lampard, and again just these little triangles that Chelsea make for each other, a little running off the ball, possession that they keep. Really does show that they're top draw. Lampard clips one out wide. Bridge again with the freedom of the pitch down the left-hand side. Gets into a good area, whips a good ball in. Headed away from Ideal. Picked up by Obi Mikel. The man who's transfer wrangling well seemed to go on and on and on. Aside from Oslo, but it was via Manchester United, as Wright Phillips gets in behind, looks to pull one back. Tamani stood strong though, managed to keep the ball. Andrew Crouch again caught possession, the ball forward from Lampard, puts his hand up to acknowledge, knew that Wright Phillips was in an offside position. Again, closing down quickly, Chelsea.
The young boy Amir from Selangor, only 20, 21 I think, he's now going to have to think, how do I handle Wayne Bridge? Because time and time again, Wayne Bridge is getting forward. Does he track back with him? That'll nullify him as an attacking force. Or does he gamble and let Fauzi get on two players?
It's a pull back pass there from Fauzi. Puts Helmy under pressure. He has to launch it long. Obi Mikel with a challenge. Terry picks it up. John said he gets caught, and John said he won't pull out of anything. Shafi Salih did just catch him there though.
Yeah, there goes Shafi Salih's chance of getting John Terry's shirt.
Flag goes up, and it was a close one.
Those metatarsals will be the ones they're worried about. There's talk of a new boot coming out, Paul.
Australia, I believe, and there's a big launch in the UK soon to help protect the metatarsals. So now Chelsea coming forwards now. Nicola Anelka, great ball from Cole. Anelka! That's the first goal for Chelsea in their third game of the 2008 Asia Tour. Nicola Anelka hits the back of the net, makes absolutely no mistake, and a wonderful finish it was too. after Joe Cole had threaded the ball through the eye of a needle. That's Anelka's second in this tour. And Steve, good quality and quality finishing.
Well, we see two important things there. One is the pace of Anelka, and we can see that certainly onside, the pace to get past the Zamani there as well, and the second that he keeps hitting the target. You know, you will score eventually if you keep hitting the target. I think Helmy would have been happy, like to have saved that one. I think he won't be happy with himself there.
See from this angle, maybe, but
again,
just a little bit better.
There's a little look at the pitch.
Well, that's probably the start that they would have wanted Chelsea to make sure and ensure that they go ahead again. Just over-committed past that near post, Helmy, which allowed Anelka to slide it in that far post. So that's Chelsea's 12th goal on tour so far, as Joe Cole looks to come forwards, keeps possession. Deco. John Obi Mikel. It's important Malaysia don't drop their heads now, though, and still keep concentrating, as Wayne Bridge makes another bursting run down the left-hand side, hangs this one up. Joe Cole looks to bring it down. Joe Cole clips it into the middle, and Anelka just misses. And panic stations at the back for Malaysia. That's a little bit better, though, from Amir. Fires it forward. Safi Saleh gets away from his man. Ali Jaffa comes forwards. Indra Putra in the left-hand side, looks to go past Michael Essien, but it's not that easy when he's standing in front of you.
It's not bad when one of the best midfield players in the world is playing it right back for you.
Well, if you consider that Michael Essien played 39 league games and 7 substitute appearances and played 16 times for his country, all during the last season. These boys are playing a lot of football these days, aren't they?
And the key is not the fitness, they're fit, of course they are, it's the recovery. That's the key now, I think, in the high-level football. Footballers are all fit, Malaysian players are fit, but it's how much recovery time you get and how much quality
Right,
recovery.
Phillips whips it in, and Anelka with a header just over.
And that's the worry we saw then. It wasn't picked up, but even if it was picked up, how much Anelka is giant over Zamani and Adil.
Just creates half that yard for himself, doesn't he? As we have a look at the half chance there after Joe Cole had brought it down. A lot of talk has been about him in previous years, from when he went to Arsenal from PSG for, was it about £500,000, and then had that amazing move which was £20 million to Real Madrid. Obviously some of the clubs he's played for, the likes of Liverpool, Man City, Bolton. As we're going to see the first yellow card here. It's Wayne Phillips who got caught by Fauzi, the 28-year-old from Perlis, receiving that yellow card. Right, Phillips looks as though he could be struggling here. Trainer's been called on straight away.
That is the problem. As you get tired, you will make mistakes. Fatigue causes lack of concentration. That's when you start leaving your foot in, just not timing the tackle right. And we'll see it here again now. Oh well.
And it is just clumsy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no malice in that
no.
whatsoever. A little bit of a water break for the players, so they'll be happy with that. Very hot and humid here. It's dropped. It was 31, 32 degrees Celsius. It's now 29 degrees Celsius, but I can tell you, as Steve and I sit here, it is about 120% humidity, which, well, it's about 100% humidity, which makes it very, very close, doesn't it? Very difficult for players to breathe sometimes.
That's the problem now. Tomorrow, you know, that they will have to rehydrate tonight, they'll have to eat the right food tonight, but I don't think we need to tell Chelsea that.
Science now such a big part of not just international football, but more club football. And like Steve mentioned, the recovery is so important, and how you plan to recover. Joe Cole picks it up in the middle of the park, look to flick the ball forwards for Lampard. Obi Mikel with a challenge, skips past one. Obi Mikel shoots, caught the floor first, but it did take a deflection, so that's going to be a corner. to come over and take this.
But look at Obi Mikel there. He could still be playing in the President's Cup in Malaysia, which is the youth league underneath the Super League.
21-year-old Nigerian international with 19 caps already to his name. Deco just sets himself to whip this one in, and he returns the favour to Lampard, who strikes this one. This time Lampard fired it into the ground. Goal back to Deco. Little give and go, and it's a cute run, but Cole crosses. Important header that was defensively. And no questions about that. Zamani had to put his head there because Carvalho was coming in just behind him.
And I think if any kids are watching this, an unseen skill, an unheralded skill, has got to be the quality of Deco's passing. He can pass teams to death, this fella.
Corner taken short this time. Deco. Again, just looks to create half a yard. Deco clips it to the far post. Anelka with a little head back. Obi Mikel fires it out wide to Joe Cole on this near side. It's a patient game again as Deco just threads one forwards for Lampard. Lampard looks to cross it. Challenge came in, but Adil adjudged not to have touched the ball. So that's going to be a goal kick.
I think we'll be seeing some good battles in the EPL with Deco and people like Modric and Fabregas. There's still room for the player who's not the biggest in the world, who's not a monster, but can pass superbly.
That's exactly why Scolari's brought him in, just to give him that cutting edge going forwards. It is true though, isn't it, Steve, that if you're a manager and you've had a player that you like and you respect, that you work with and you know them, when you move to another club, sometimes you do take that player with you to put that brand of football that you want in there. As we see Anelka going down the left, Bridge makes a run forwards. Anelka just loses out. Obi Mikel goes in hard. 2 challenges and still keeps possession. Wayne Bridge. It's the free kick. So another opportunity for the big guns to go forwards.
Yeah, I think Hardy Jaffa there just bought the dummy, that's all.
How much did it cost?
He went for the ball. It didn't happen to be there at the time. Watch this. Yep. Wayne Bridge cheated.
You could see Wayne Bridge's face there as he went to the ground. A big smile on his face, knew that he caught him as Lampard drills this one in. Terry was in there. Obi Mikel with a shot, headed clear. Deco with a shot, just wide. So really not backing off at all, Chelsea here. Really giving the fans a game with opportunities that they're creating. And it's good to see as well, isn't it? It does look as though we might see a substitute for Malaysia, though. That's number 4, Ashuruddin. We might see him very, very shortly.
The Selangor player, Ashuruddin Putra Omar, only 20 as well.
It's good that the kids are going to get a chance.
He actually came through like the Malaysian Institute of Sport. It's called Bukit Jalil. It's produced many a good player. It's an excellent program inside Malaysia. A lot of these players have come through it, and year in, year out, it's proving successful.
Kids are the future, there's no question about that, and if you can impose that on them very early, it can only benefit. Well, it's going to be Irwan Fazli that comes off. Ashuruddin Omar will just slot in on the left-hand side of midfield, it looks, so maybe Malaysia are going to go and revert to a 3 at the back, Steve.
No, he's a versatile defender, this fella. I think he's slotting straight for left back. Maybe Irwan just got sick of seeing Michael Essien.
Great ball forward to Joe Cole. Cole checks back. A bit too hard for Essien to cross first time. Oh, a lovely little 1-2 though with Joe Cole. Essien looks up, picks a player out. Little flick, Mike Phillips, who's not the tallest, 5'5". Couldn't just rise up enough to head that one goal bound.
Right, Phillips is probably enjoying this, not being overly small on the pitch.
There's that little 1-2 again. Great play, Essien looking to pick out a man. Just couldn't find him.
And the Shah Alam is looking a wonderful sight, Paul. As we can pan back there, we see the crowd. It's filling up.
It's been filling up steadily, hasn't it?
When they play the Malaysia Cup final here, there's 90,000 people. And it's intimidating, believe me.
It's intimidating here. There must be 60, 70,000 people here already, which is an amazing turnout and a fantastic turnout, and just shows what support that Chelsea are growing here in Asia, as there could be a half chance on here. Check back, shoots, just wide. It's that man again. Amir cut in from the right-hand side, and that's the second opportunity he's had, Steve, to try and get a goal for Malaysia.
Well, it's great. It's the confidence of the fella. He was going through, he was getting put onto his wrong foot, but he pulled himself back. He got onto his good foot, made a little bit of space. You can see it across here. He's coming across, they've forced him. Cavalio's forced him one way. That's the difference in football. 2 centimetres either side, and he's a hero.
See, from that angle, and you can see it isn't that far away. So, for all their dominance in this game, Chelsea have been caught twice, just by that man there, Amir. Winning the throw there. Fortuitously, here he is again. Deco looks up, looks to switch play, but it's charged down.
That's the gamble we talked about before with Amir. Does he let Wayne Bridge go?
Let that go for a goal kick, and quite obviously it was closed down by a Malaysian player, so it has to be a corner. The referee doing the right thing here and overruling the linesman.
Like we said, sensible referee.
There, look, there's the challenge coming in from Hadi Jaffa. It goes out, and you can't understand why Ashuruddin just lets that go out. Puts his team under pressure, as Chelsea again have an opportunity with the guys going forwards, but don't capitalise yet again. Essien, little give and go with Joe Cole. Essien with the cross, headed away from Zamani. Deco to Cole.
Blue bodies everywhere, isn't it?
They're not stopping running either. That's the biggest problem Malaysia have, that they're having to track all these runners all over the place, but the passing is so crisp and sharp from Chelsea. As Essien looks to get it back, but Lampard picks it up on the edge of the box. Bridge involved, Deco skips past one. Deco looks for a little give and go. Lampard finds it on the edge of the box, and that's an awful challenge, but the shot comes in from John Terry. That was a really, really strong challenge from Fauzi, who has to be careful because he's on a yellow card.
Yeah, I think if it hadn't been an advantage, Malaysia could have been in trouble there. I think it might have played, yes.
That's a bad challenge. Very, very lucky boy. Substitutes bench, Kaidil. Question is whether we'll see him shortly or whether it'll be at half-time. We're approaching half-time.
Yeah, he's a wide left boy. Very close to selection in the first 11. I think we've got to say that Inderputra has done a good job on this side as well. Young Amir has been exposed but attacked. Inderputra's been more disciplined. Which
he's tracked back, hasn't he?
He's tracked back. He has made life difficult for Essien. And Joe Cole's hanging out this side as well, so it's not easy for both left back and left midfield.
It's Wright Phillips and Cole that have switched wings now. Here is Wright Phillips looking to create a shot. Pulls it just wide. Again, more opportunities for this Chelsea side. The speculation we were talking about before is that Portsmouth are interested in signing Wright Phillips, and Scolari did say the other day, I don't know what he wants to do, I'll have a chat with him. That was after the last game that they played against Chengdu Blades in Macau. So obviously all behind closed doors, so we don't know what's happened there.
How persuasive can Harry Redknapp be?
How persuasive in Scolari, but there you can see getting the rub just before he goes on.
Surprised if he came on before. Oh, he is coming on, I think, yes.
Looks like
Not long before half-time now.
Bobby McKell wins the ball in the middle of the park. Deco looks to break forwards. Joe Cole steps inside. Hadi Jaffa back there doing the dirty work and wins the ball. Sukur keeps possession. Hadi Jaffa. Assuruddin. Back to Hadi Jaffa.
This is Malaysia's hope for creativity. This fella can see things, can do things.
Indra Putra. Back to Hadi Jaffa, who, like you said, Steve, you called it. If he gets half a chance, he's going to pull the trigger. Never really going to trouble Petacek from there. Always sliding high and wide. His right bridge finds himself in a lot more space down on the left-hand side. Play switched to Michael Essien. There's Hadi Jaffa looking to come across and close down. Essien flicks it forwards, it goes out of play. Is it a surprise to you that the coach is going to make 2 changes in the first half?
Well, this one's so late in the first half. That's particularly surprising, unless it's an injury, of course.
Deco with a little nudge, thought he got away with it, but the referee right on the spot.
I'm interested to see who it is, because he's a wide man. Well, the player who has been a little bit invisible at the moment is Hairudin. We haven't seen much of him getting forward to support.
Bobby McKell picking it up yet again. Chelsea won't make a change until half-time, or they haven't in their 2 previous games. There was only one that was forced on them by Singwat, the £18 million signing from Porto, who's received a thigh strain. He came off and Ferreira came on after just 20 minutes in that game against Guangzhou Pharmaceuticals, but he does like to have a 45 minutes with the side. Bobby McKell and Frank Lampard looking at each other there, and just a little something off the ball between those 2 players. As Essien cuts inside. Cole with a flick. Essien! High and wide. Great play yet again from Chelsea. There's that little flick from Cole. Essien on the left foot.
It's the one place you can gamble in the opposition's penalty box. It's worth a little punt sometimes.
Touch and turn from Safi Saleh. It's clipped again by Deco. Malaysia with a late opportunity here towards the end of the first half. 1 minute of time will be added on here. 45 minutes are up.
And I tell you now, Hardy will fancy a shot. Do you believe he can beat Peter Cech from 40 yards?
Yeah, against one of the best keepers in the world. 40, 45 yards, no problem. We see that every week, don't we? But you can hear what it means to the crowd. They know what's coming. Petacek taking no chances, but a 2-man wall up. Amir, or is it Hadi Jaffa? Scuffs the shot straight down the throat of Petacek. So that's going to be quite easy for him to...
That's the one he rehearses at training, the under-the-wall shot.
You're just being nice to him because he's your player, Steve. Time almost up here then at the Shah Alam Stadium. Lampard. Anelka. Twisting, turning.
Really important now they don't concede now. If they concede one now, it really hits them in the head. Got to fight for his last 30 seconds. Well done.
There it is. Well, there's no maul in here at the Shah Alam Stadium. Malaysia have given a great account of themselves. Chelsea very attack-minded in the way that they've come out, playing three strikers and looking to cause problems all over the place. Malaysia, well, they've had opportunities too. Amir went close on 2 occasions, but at half-time here at the Shah Alam Stadium, it's that man and the solitary strike that he hit in the 27th minute, Nicola Anelka, that gives Chelsea, in their 3rd game of the Samsung Chelsea Asia Tour 2008, a 1-0 lead. Malaysia 0, Chelsea 1.
Back to Astro Super Sport. The halftime score at the Shah Alam Stadium is the Malaysian selection 0, Chelsea 1. It was a bright start by the Malaysians, but since the opening 5 minutes, it was Chelsea who dominated the game and scored the goal just before the half-hour mark. Shabby Singh is with me in the studio. Shabby, they made a bright start in the first 5 minutes, but has since faltered, allowing Chelsea to dominate.
I think we would have expected that. It is very important to get off to a good start because it builds confidence,
right.
And it certainly did for the Malaysians. But as the game has progressed in the first half, Chelsea have had a lot of ball possession without creating too much either. But there are obvious weaknesses in the Malaysian side. I think the midfield, the 3 central midfielders need to be a bit more enterprising. They need to play a bit more closer to Safi Salih. But having said that, again, I mean, well done. I think Helmi in goal has been outstanding.
Of course, as Shabby mentioned, Helmi with several stops to prevent Chelsea from actually going 2 or 3 goals up in this first half. And Shabby, just looking at how our Malaysian team have performed, for once we can see that they can actually keep the ball and distribute it well, Shabby.
I think that is important, Zainal. You know, for the first 5-6 minutes, you could see that everybody was happy controlling the ball and passing it. But that is something that you need to continue doing. You know, play the short passing game. Advantage with agility. We have the advantage with the weather conditions as well. So make that happen. But what lets the Malaysians down is lack of confidence, because it is a contagious effect. One bad pass leads to another, which then leads to another.
Slowly but surely, Shabby, the fans are coming into this Shah Alam Stadium. And it was a bright performance by Malaysian at the start with, apart from Helmi in goal, Amirul Hadi down the right-hand side has also been outstanding.
He's an outstanding player, Zana. In my opinion, right now, I would rate him as the top 2 midfielders in the country, after Ahmad Fauzi Shahari from Kedah, who doesn't get into the national team. But Amirul Hadi, playing in an unaccustomed right side position, has done extremely well in the early part of the game, where he got the ball in and he went through on Petacek's goal. Was unlucky not to hit the target.
Right, yes.
But again, there are flaws in his game, is that he's not a natural right side player. He doesn't know how to track back, which has meant that Wayne Bridge has enjoyed a lot of time on the overlap.
And looking at the highlight from the first half, we can see that it's Malaysia who had the earlier chance. Amirul Hadi, as Shabby has mentioned, with the best opportunity to actually surprise Chelsea in the opening few minutes. But to no avail, Shabby, after some good moves being shown, especially by Hardy down the right-hand side, who actually, left-hand side, who actually started the move before slipping the ball to Amirul Hadi for that first opportunity.
Well, once again, like I said, I mean, there was time and space, and Amirul Hadi, in my opinion, has done extremely well, and that is Khairuddin, who, for me, has had a very, very poor first half. Yes, indeed. There has been some good probing, I would say, from the Chelsea team. Sean Wright-Phillips making a yard for himself, not getting his shot on target. And this, for me, was absolutely world-class. You know, forget about Deco's strike. I'm talking about Helmi.
With the brilliant save.
A brilliant save, yeah, top-class save. And, well, Hardy Jaffa will always think, as Steve Darby said in the commentary, that he can score from anywhere. No, son, it doesn't happen all the time. And this was the goal. There was a bit of a lax defending in the center of midfield, allowing Joe Cole to slip the ball through to Anelka. who finishes off extremely well, and then half chances really, Zainal. Good defending this time. Ball hooked back, Anelka not reaching it, and so I would say that, you know, well played to Malaysia, because they have restricted Chelsea to half chances, opportunities from outside the box. There has been some good and tireless running once again from Frank Lampard. Deco has been involved a little bit more, although I still do get the impression that Deco should be playing centrally just behind Anelka, because he's got the eye for the pass. But again, those are the things for Scolari to address.
That was actually my next question to you, Shabi. We saw Deco playing here today, but once Bola gets back into the lineup with Lampard there, how do you see him fitting in there?
I still like to see Deco in a free role, because I think, you know, he's got a lot more to offer. I think he's very restricted playing down the right hand side with Essien coming around him. And early on we saw another great opportunity from Amirul Hadi. You know, that boy has got class. I mean, I don't say that often about Malaysian players, but Amirul Hadi, given the right coaching, you know, given the right encouragement, could turn out to be as good as Azizul Abu Hanifa.
And it's Chelsea all the way throughout this first half. Wayne Bridge given a lot of space down the left-hand side, Shabi, but he hasn't actually proved that deadly as Joe or Ashley Cole might be down the left.
Well, his the final ball has not been the greatest, you know, and of course he hasn't got somebody like Didier Drogba to hit. Anelka's not the greatest in the air, so while Bridge has done well in his individual role, the quality of the ball should be better, because you've got to aim for different kind of players. So play it into space, cross it into space for Anelka to attack it. If you lump it up into the air for Anelka to challenge, he's not going to get there.
And looking at the match statistics here, Shabi, the 1 goal for Chelsea, but shot at goal, 5 to Chelsea as compared to only 1 from Malaysia. I think there's another one from Amirul Hadi towards the end there.
Indeed it was, and it was a very, very good one as well. So like I said, you know, Amirul Hadi for me is you know, more of a central midfielder, and when he came down the centre, he wrong-footed Carvalho, got a shot at goal again. So, well, the stats really show that, but I think the problem is that there's a stat that's missing, is that his possession. I think Chelsea have enjoyed about 70%, 75% of it.
Right, okay, thank you, Shabi. We'll take a short break right now, but when we come back, we'll have this second half between the Malaysian selection and Chelsea, so join us after this.
And allow Deco to push forward a little bit more. But I would like to see Frank Lampard, you know, given the freedom that he normally does, to push on in support of this man, Anelka.
Okay, Shabi, maybe a prediction from you, the final scoreline here before we throw to Paul Macefield and Steve Darby?
Well, to be honest, Zaina, I think I'm very happy with the first half scoreline. Sometimes you've got to look at the scoreline to think that, you know, there will be enough confidence for the boys coming out in the second half. Let's restrict them, if we can, to 2 goals, 1 goal in each half.
Right, okay, thank you, Shabi. And on that note, let's now cross over with our commentary team of Paul Macefield and Steve Darby.
Back to the Shah Alam Stadium here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It's a Samsung Chelsea Asia Tour 2008. It's the 3rd leg. They are now in Malaysia, and they currently lead the Malaysian national side by 1-0, courtesy of Nicola Anelka in the 27th minute strike that he provided. We're just looking down on the pitch now. It does look as though there's been a couple of changes. It looks as though Ashley Cole has come on at left back for Wayne Bridge. We also know that Alex has come on. He's come on for Carvalho. So, different central defensive partnership going on there. Terry and Alex it will be. Malouda has come on as well. Just waiting to see who emerges. It's Deco, so that means that Joe Cole has been replaced. Essien will go and slot in to the centre of midfield as well, because it does look as though there's been another change. Paulo Ferreira has come on. So 4 changes made by Luis Felipe Scolari. It is going to be Chelsea that will get us underway, kicking from right to left. Petr Cech stays in goal. Played an hour of the game against Chengdu Blades before being replaced. We have seen the keepers warming up, so quite sure we'll see a change in goal for Chelsea as the game progresses. Joining me in the commentary position is Steve Darby, the head coach of Perak FC here in Malaysia. Steve, it was a good first half, wasn't it?
Excellent first half, in many ways, both for the crowd, for the entertaining attacking play of Chelsea, and for the professionalism, to be honest, of Malaysia. The discipline and the professionalism. They had a job to do, they've done it to the best of their ability. 1 goal, they had 2 good chances, and they've stuck at their task. Very disciplined and very professional.
Terry just keeping possession to Malouda. Ashley Cole, the Try Phillips, the other player that has gone off. Good play, Malouda finds himself on the edge of the box. Launch clear, no nonsense from Aidil. Bobby McKell picks this one up. Long searching ball. This time Fauzi, the only man who received a yellow card in the first half, gets his head to it, lash clear. So it's going to be Chelsea looking to start sharp.
I'm surprised Malaysia didn't make any changes at half-time, just mainly because of fatigue.
We did see Kaido warming up. Looked as though he was going to come on just a couple of minutes before the half-time, but coach elected not to do that. A lovely little 1-2. Cole's in behind. Ashley this time, but the flag goes up and offside. Again, good movement again from Chelsea. The quality of players that they're replacing with the quality of players coming on, there's very little between them, isn't there?
I mean, it's just a pleasure to be a coach with that squad. And this day and age, they talk about squads. They don't talk about first 11s anymore. Squads win you Champions League. Squads win you the Premier League.
Deco wins a header. Putra was used on the left-hand side in the first half, has been asked to shuffle across to the right-hand side here. Malaysia not settling down as quickly as they should, though. It is Chelsea that will keep possession yet again. John Terry to Deco. Malouda. Ashley Cole out wide left. Great play. Lampard looked to just dink that one forwards as well. Strong challenge. Amir got caught. Terry keeps the ball in play.
In fact, Malaysia have made a change. Hairuddin Omar has come off, and number 14 for Malaysia, Khairul Mahiman, has come on. He's over on the far side, left-hand side, so Interputra's shuffled into the centre of midfield, and Khairul's gone wide left.
Petr Cech just kicking the ball out of play because of the injury to Amir, the man that went closest on not one but 2 occasions for Malaysia in that first half.
He'll be watching the replays tomorrow. He'll be dreaming about, if only I'd just put it half a metre to the inside, he'd have been a hero. Free food in Selangor for a year.
The players, they're clearly not happy with what Hadi Jaffar's done, because he's put the ball right in the corner, even though it's a pre-season friendly. Malaysia trying to pin Chelsea in. Doesn't last for long as Ashley Cole just flicks one over to Petr Cech, and he finds himself out of the box for the first time in this game. Ball to Alex, who was signed by Chelsea in 2004 and loaned to PSV Eindhoven for 3 years. And it was a risky ball from Paulo Ferreira. Alex just managed to pick it up. Deco flicks it forwards. Malouda onto Cole. Cole inside to Lampard. Anelka. Ball just bobbled up as it went to his feet and couldn't bring that one down. Now Malaysia just lashing the ball clear. Maybe Mikel. Finds Terry, who in turn finds Deco. Sweeping move out to the right-hand side. Ferreira flicks it forwards. Essien in a more advanced position now. Looks to check back. Good defending. Puts the pressure on. Viral it is that's closing down quickly though. Unfortunately does the splits and can't retrieve that ball. Chelsea will build yet again. Ball there from Frank Lampard. And Jaffa does well to win it back and looks to flick it forwards, but Chelsea held a very high line there, Steve.
Yeah, high line, and they put pressure on the man with the ball. Hardy couldn't see what Shafi was going, laid a little dink through. The only real hope there was him go himself, but it's an awful long way with John Terry chasing him.
It's a long ball forwards and Pelicek comes out to head it. Only heads it to the middle of the park. Obi Mikel's there to just mop things up. Alex gets the touch. Odd half chance Malaysia getting so far this half. Essien finds Anelka. Just moves the ball away from the defenders to give himself a yard. Ferreira. Back to Essien. Very much patience being order of the day for Chelsea at the beginning of this second half. Right inside, Frank Malouda goes on the outside, looks to cross the ball, pulls it back. Lampard with a little ball into Cole. That is a brilliant finish. That's a magic goal. It looked as though Lampard was going to smash the ball from the edge of the box, but he fired and rattled one in to Ashley Cole, whose touch was amazing. He turned, fired it into the top corner, and 7.5 minutes into this second half, Chelsea make it 2-0. Great move, Steve.
Great move, and we hear the blue section of this crowd cheering. Well, let's tell you what is pleasing tonight, though. Okay, there's a few people here. Nearly a good save, but the Malaysian crowd are getting behind the Malaysians. They put the flag up for offside, the hand up for offside. We'll see here.
Here's the cutback from Malouda, and the ball's just fired in. There's no way he's offside.
No, not offside. Left back
5
playing
yards
him on.
onside.
Yeah.
Not a lot that the Helmy could have done about that one.
All he could do is make himself big, which he did. And nearly pulled off a great save.
Good finish. We're going to have a change now for Malaysia. Zakwan Adar is coming on.
Zakwan's coming on. He's the twin brother of Adil. So would you believe he's 20 as well?
Safi Salih, who you did say, Steve, wouldn't see this game out because of the amount of work that we would have to get through, makes way. He's played all right though, hasn't he? He's caused his problems in his own little right up there.
Done his best, and that's all you can ask for, really. This fella's got pace as well. Both brothers come from Negri Sembilan. But they've almost been national team fixtures for 3 or 4 years now. For the junior ranks.
Slips, which gets a little cheer from the crowd. Alex gets his big leg just in front there of Zafwan. Ferreira. Alex to come back inside. Mikel just lets it go under his foot. John Terry into Lampard. That's a crunching challenge as well. So another crunching challenge comes in. Lampard's on his feet, but struggling a little bit, but still manages to find Essien. And Essien just kicks the ball straight out of play because of that little knock to Frank Lampard.
I think Adil will have that in his video library. You clatter Frank Lampard cleanly, and it was cleanly, and you let one of the best players in the world know you're around.
Here's the challenge again. the ball, he does take the ball. You're right, Steve. Fantastic challenge. Of course, all the speculation surrounding Frank Lampard and his future, and how he might sign a pre-contract with Inter Milan in January. Speculation that they might still release and let him go. Scolari has firmly stated the case that he doesn't want him or any of his players to leave the club at the moment, so I'm sure that's one that'll pan out in the next few weeks before the window closes at the end of August.
Yeah, you've got the football philosophy as opposed to the economic philosophy. Do you cash in now on Lampard, save his wage bill and get some transfer money, or do you wait and you've got to replace him?
A very, very big loss if he were to leave. Malouda seems to be just floating in a free roll, enjoying it a little bit more than he enjoyed the Euro Championships. Playing for France, of course. They were disappointed in that tournament. Blue shirts seem to be everywhere again as they close down very quickly. Ferreira. Nelko was just waiting for that one. The slide challenge coming in from Sorodin. Well, that's two in about 30 seconds. That one was maybe not as clean.
Yeah. I think his target was for the ball, but it's what we talked about before about giving away silly free kicks. This is in shooting range for someone like Frank Lampard.
Well, Alex has sprinted up there to grab the ball and take this one. Was just a little bit late. You're right, though, but when they move the ball so quickly, it's very, very difficult to pull out once you've committed to the challenge. So no malice in that at all. It was just Essien was far too quick.
And we're seeing Alex lining himself up.
It is going to be Alex. Alex fires one and it takes a deflection.
Ball did its job.
Wasn't sure if it hit Nicola Anelka there, but the corner's been given. Some more pressure to be added here from Chelsea.
Who picks up Terry? Who picks up Alex? Who picks up Essien?
It's going to be interesting to see, because Alex gets his head to the ball, just flicks it in the air. Anelka at the far post. Just waits for the little run. And just keeps the ball, keeps possession. Essien staying in the middle as Obi Mikel fighting for the ball on the near side. Malaysia did well there to win it back, but just couldn't get out of that spot. Obi Mikel, look how he uses his body. Well, just got caught by a flailing arm there from Indra Putra, right in front of the dugout as well, and that's incensed the Chelsea bench a little bit. There's some boos and jeers going on around the stadium. Was the arm thrown though? That's the thing.
We'll see now.
There's Mikel holding off the first challenge. There's the second one. Well, the arm goes up from Obi Mikel.
Well, it wasn't his arm, it was his head.
Just caught his head, yeah?
Caught his head.
Didn't look as though he caught anything there, really.
Well, to be honest, yeah. He's a big lad, get up.
Yep, nothing there. Indra Putra totally in the clear. No worries about that one.
If I was Indra Putra now, I'd be, next 5 minutes, I'd be making plenty of space for myself.
Word does get around when you play against the top players. Andrei Shevchenko warming up down in front of us. Will he get his first game time in this Samsung Chelsea tour for Asia 2008? The Malaysia leg. Chelsea currently have scored 13 goals and they've yet to concede one as Malouda breaks forwards. Possession kept. Deco. And they all look so comfortable on the ball. Ferreira. Mikel. To Deco. See Cudicini down in front of us just sticking his goalkeeper's jersey on, so he will come on in the next few minutes. Bang on the hour mark, exactly what they did against Chengdu Blades, except it was Hilario that came on in that game. wins that one. Go is the shout from the bench. It's Cole. Goes down the left-hand side, Malouda. Mikel Ferreira's made a run out wide right and has got acres of space. Hits it back inside to Michael Essien. Essien goes past one, goes past two. Little ball to Anelka. He's got it caught under his feet. Zamani kept his eye on the ball and won that one back. So good defending there.
I've got no doubt Zamani can play at a high level. Maybe not centre-back, but maybe full-back.
John Terry mopping everything up and keeping possession. John Terry's just putting a divot back into the pitch as well. Deco loses the ball. A dangerous position. Here come Malaysia. Cairo plays it forwards. Put a check out to the sharp and was. That one there had the opportunity of a lifetime to stick it past Petr. But Czech made himself big and strong. But that's the clearest opportunity that Malaysia have had so far in this game.
Great chance. I think he tried to dink it over the top of Czech, but Czech coming out is a monster, isn't he? And it shows his concentration. Hardly touched the ball, Czech.
Being urged on by the fans now.
I think we're going to see Shevchenko coming on as well, Paul.
We've seen a treble substitution. Steve Kudacini, Shevchenko, and the young boy who is really setting Chelsea alight at the moment, Di Santo, the Argentinian, the young Argentinian, and I say that because he's got 620 appearances and 1 goal to his name. He's already scored on this tour as well. In both games against Guangzhou Pharmaceuticals and Chengdu Blades. But Malaysia still standing firm. Mahdi Jafar just tries to flick it wide, but just couldn't get it there. Ideal plays it now to the left-hand side. Azuruddin forwards to Kyril. Kyril turns, looks to get the better of Paulo Ferreira. Ferreira using his experience and just rolls it back to Czech, who no nonsense, just clears his lines like all good goalkeepers do. Azuruddin will come on as well for Malaysia the next time the ball goes out. You can hear what the crowd want. They're desperate for Malaysia to score. Amir, little 1-2 with Hadi Jafar. Here's Hadi Jafar again. Hadi Jafar going forwards, he's got options. Amir steps inside. Amir shoots! But couldn't score. Another golden opportunity for Amir. The fans know that as well. He would have been the hero had that gone in. This was the earlier opportunity though, where Petr came out, and it's the last action we will see from Petr.
And he's just caught it with his left foot. And here we see the second one here now. He's cut inside Alex well. But no, you take some doing to have a strike there. Into Putres on the far side, screaming for the ball. It would be great to see Malaysia get a goal here. It would make the whole game change.
Petr off. Carlo Kudacini on. Shevchenko on. Deco off. Anelka off. And the young boy, where all eyes are looking this season, is coming on, Di Santo.
Here again there, the ball stops dead, and you've really got to have powerful thigh muscles to whip it in off a standing kick like that.
Di Santo, 19, who scored 2 goals in the previous 2 games, scored 7 goals in 6 games for the reserves last year. Amir, the man that missed a chance, is unfortunately the man that comes off. Azuruddin will come on.
Well, I think Yesati is saying here, you've done yourself proud, son. You didn't disappear, you didn't hide, you had a go.
And he did, to be fair. Can Malaysia score. They did it the last time that these two sides had met, but it's very much a different Chelsea here now. Shevchenko getting his first play time over here on the Samsung Chelsea Asian Tour 2008.
Often you see the game lose a little bit of its shape when you make so many subs.
6 changes so far from Chelsea. Malaysia looking to burst forwards again. Then it is straight in the thick of the action. Some of the tight little areas that Chelsea can play in, though. Keep possession. Confirmation of the score so far, courtesy of Nicholas Anelka and Ashley Cole. 21 minutes gone in this second half, so 2-0 for Chelsea. Malaysia have by no means been out of this game. Well, lots for him to ponder and worry about, as Warren Malouda just headed that forwards looking for Andrei Shevchenko. The crowd once again rise to their feet and rouse behind Malaysia. Adi Jaffa threads a ball through. Big Alex is there and just pokes it away. We're going to have another substitution. Safizan bin Hassim is coming on. It's going to be Fauzi, the only player who's received a yellow card in this game so far, to go off. Straight swap sleeve.
It may not be more of a midfield player, this Safizan. Get forward. I think maybe now that they thought, well, let's go for it. We've done our job. We've kept it respectable. Can we pinch something?
Alex gets a bit toe to it and pokes it away. There's De Santo. Picks the ball up, has likened himself to Hernan Crespo, who was released from the club during the summer after his contract expired. Right ball threaded forwards, could be a chance here. Paulo Ferreira, like all good fullbacks, tucking in though. The decibel level at the Shah Alam Stadium rises again.
Rudin takes a bit of pace down this right-hand side. Plays for the police. Oh, he's not a policeman.
Oh, with the throw. Malouda brings it down. This time it's Malaysia who are closing down and not allowing the time and space for the Chelsea players to be comfortable. Safizan. For everyone to be the right distance away from the ball. It's now Malaysia's turn to try and pass things around. The ball led free and Terry does the job and clears up at the back. Obi Mikel clips one forwards. The referee's fallen down and that's brought one of the loudest cheers of the night so far. Like I said, I've been down on the pitch. It is a little bit wet underfoot. They've been watering the pitch all the time, rolling it, trying to get it as flat as possible. Zakwan upended by John Terry, who just boots the ball away and then runs away and apologises to the referee. You can't help but think, if that's a league game, Steve, or a cup game,
up pops the yellow card. Yeah, for some of these referees. But again, sensible refereeing.
It is. It's just a friendly game, isn't it? That they had 8 players sent off this year, Chelsea, in the 62 games that they played, 121 yellow cards, so not the worst team at all. Sorry, 95 yellow cards, not the worst at all by any means.
Yeah, Hardy's morning, he's not 10 yards.
Surely he's not going to shoot from there. It's a low flat one. Obi Mikel can get his body to the ball. Ball whipped into the box dangerously, but Carlo Cudicini, no mistake there, and volleys one straight upfield, looking for De Santo. Shevchenko looking to chase this one down.
Well, I think you saw then Zamani outpacing Shevchenko. So we've got to be saying maybe Marino was right. Maybe the fella's legs have gone, the pace. Still a great player, great finisher, but if you haven't got the pace, you can't play EPL.
Of course, he was going for a specialist training, sprint training as well, with one of the sprint champions in the UK to try and give himself that extra half a yard. So catches up with everybody though. Mr. Cole inside. De Santo, little ball into Lampard. Lampard flicks it forwards. And to be strong in the challenge, and they were, Malaysia, that time. Little ball inside. Well, it's Malaysia's turn to try and play little triangles, and the crowd loved that one, didn't they, Steve?
Yeah, the mistake they made, of course, when you stop the ball dead. You stop the ball dead, very little chance.
It's all about the movement, isn't it?
Got to keep the ball moving.
Another substitution coming up. Zairo Anwar coming on. Adi Jaffa going off.
And this fella's got a good free kick as well. Terengganu player. Adi Jaffa's ran himself into the ground, done well.
Cole takes the throw, gets it back from Malouda. John Terry just looks to go out the other way and keep possession. That's exactly what Alex does as well. It's so important to have a good pre-season where your players can get fit, work hard, gives you the base for the whole season to make sure that you've got that level of fitness that's required to play 62 games a year.
It's certainly changing though, isn't it, with the economic demands of tours and the less gap in between seasons now.
Well, it's the Confederations Cup next year, which is obviously the prelude to the World Cup that's the following year. So some players, or a few players, most of them will have time off next year, which should hold them in good stead. Mikel. De Santo just looks to flick it round the corner. Just couldn't get there, and the long ball forwards as Terry just mops that up very, very easily and threads it out wide to Paulo Ferreira.
Game into the last quarter of an hour now.
And then he waits for Lampard to make that run forwards. Malouda shoots. Just didn't sit down for him really as he tried to fire that one and trouble the keeper Helmy. He's been disappointing really since his move from Lyon for big money to Chelsea. Will be looking this year to try and impose himself and really make things happen.
Didn't endear himself to the fans as well by saying he preferred France, he preferred this, preferred that. Wasn't the smartest move by a player.
Essien to Shevchenko. The roar goes up again as Malaysia break forwards. Over Mikel. Guilty. Mikel was actually the player that was suspended for the most games last season for Chelsea. 7 games he missed in all. Next one was Michael Essien with 5, Carvalho with 4. Indra Putra shoots straight at Carlo Cudicini. That's easy pickings for him. To go from one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, which he was, Carlo Cudicini, to go and play understudy to possibly the best goalkeeper in the world, Petr Cech, must be easy for him, Steve.
I think the only thing that keeps him happy is looking at his monthly bank account.
Shevchenko looks for the powerful run of Essien, who skips past 2 defenders. Essien, good save from Helmy. Malouda with a cross.
I think we're seeing a few times now that Adil is tired because he's diving in with 2 feet. He's either going to give a free kick away or get done. It's a few times it's happened now.
Well, Malaysia have made 6 changes, but they haven't changed Amani and Ideal or Sukor.
It's gone to ground, and you can't afford to go to ground unless you win the ball. It's only for T, and let's face it, he's 20. And Chelsea have still got to think about the number of English players they have, because if this 6+5 rule ever emerges, some people say it will, some say it won't, you're going to need your English players.
Maluda. Back to Mikel. Fired into Shevchenko, looking for the give and go. Who's had a fantastic game, it has to be said, for Malaysia. Really did quell that threat in the first half, and he's working incredibly hard in the second half. Here come the changes now. Frank Lampard will come off. Bronislav Ivanovic will come on. Signed from Lokomotiv Moscow.
John Terry is also coming off.
John Terry. So the 2 main English players for this great club will make way.
Ivanovic going straight into the back 4.
Well, it also gives an opportunity, doesn't it, for Luis Felipe Scolari to have a look at these players. Players who haven't been changed so far for Chelsea. Michael Essien and Obi Mikel. Long range shot comes in, easy for Cudicini.
Seeing Malaysia make one more sub as well now.
So it's going to be very short.
I think it'll be Subramanian. Yes, Subramanian will come on. Might come on for a deal.
Straight into the thick of the action. It's worth Luis Felipe Scolari looking at his squad and seeing what players can play in what positions. John Terry being out with injuries. Or Carvalho gets injured, Alex gets injured, then we're always asking Michael Essien to do a job, so that's why Ivanovic has been brought into the fold. To go and take the ball off him. Checks back inside. Obi Mikel. Clips a lovely ball forwards, and it is a fantastic ball. His body's in the box. If Sinclair can get that in, just couldn't keep it in.
The game's lost a little bit of its fire, a little bit of its shape at the moment. It tends to happen when so many subs get made. There we see Subramanian. Really pleased for this fella. 18 months ago, Paul, he was playing in a plantation field in Gendarata. We discovered him there. He's got the best attitude you can ever want from a footballer. Captained his country Olympic team within 1 year. And I tell you what, he'll go and kick Michael Essien if you ask him.
All you want from a football player. Someone who does their job, someone who does what they're told, has the right attitude. Long ball forwards. De Santo brings this one down. Keep possession though. Just overrun a little bit from Adil.
Yeah, Adil's
very tired and weary. Adil to come off?
I think so, yeah. He's done everything. Again, we're talking about a lad who's 20, up against the best players in the world. And we're not saying just age, we're saying the world here. Some of the best athletes, some of the best footballers in the world. It can only make him a better player.
Maluda. Chelsea content just to see this one out. This is the final game of the 3-stop tour that they have had over here in Asia, courtesy of Samsung.
We saw it again, another strange offside decision.
There we go.
It's so frustrating in the league when you see long balls are given offside because the linesmen are not watching the players knock the ball 40-50 metres.
It is that straight swap that you said, Steve. It will be ideal that comes off, and Subramanian that will go there.
Look out, Shevchenko.
Strong challenge from Alex. Santo with the flick. There is Shevchenko. Finds Dos Santo.
Last 10 minutes. Can they get something? Can Malaysia get something? It'd be great if they can.
The ball clipped out to his near side, but Ashley Cole chasing back and heads it away. Zuruddin was the target.
Yeah, that sums it up. Can I have a new pair of lungs, please?
Incredibly hard throughout this game. There's a long-range shot from Putra, who just seems to be one, Steve, that keeps going and going and going.
Great athlete.
Been on the
pace.
international scene for a long time as well, hasn't he?
Yeah. Made his real name when he destroyed Singapore in the Tiger Cup of 5-6 years ago.
That's right. I think we covered the game. Of course, the Asian Championships will be in November, December this year, where all the countries from Southeast Asia will participate. Malaysia very much looking to gear up for that. So this, albeit a friendly game, will give the coach, B. Satayan, a good look at the players for this upcoming tournament. And it's something that they haven't relished in recent years. International football and international tournaments, they've disappointed on occasion in the Asia Cup and also the ASEAN Cup last year. It's a big year for Malaysian football, isn't it?
Yep, they need the national team to do well, they need the M League to do well, bring the crowds back to the game. You see the crowd here tonight. This is how Shah Alam should be. This is how Shah Alam can be when Selangor are doing well.
It's all about getting the fans out to support the local football. There's nothing like being there, as everybody's witnessing here, with Shevchenko just trying to create half a yard. Di Santo flicks it on. Scott Sinclair out wide, checks back just to create a yard for himself to get a cross in. Does, puts it to the far post. Ashley Cole looking to get on the end of that, and Helmy came very, very well to
made
claim
the
that.
decision, he went all the way.
Ivanovic making a mistake there. Alex very strong in the challenge. But again, this Malaysian side not saying no. I'll never say die attitude, trying to come forwards, but Zakwan there just not physically strong enough to cope with Alex.
I think he got hit by a train then.
Like you've said though, Steve, they really have done themselves proud, and a real credit to the nation with the performance that they've put in today's game.
Yeah.
They've been magnificent, haven't they?
You're playing the best team in the world, or one of the best clubs in the world, best players in the world, and they've shown the major in things. They've shown courage, character, attitude, and bits of skill. And sometimes you need a little bit of luck, and they haven't had too much luck tonight. Amir could have been a hero.
Another substitution being made.
And
As Isharo coming on.
we've got to say 2-0 is a football score, 7-0 isn't. So you've got to give some respect to the Malaysian team.
Suko comes off. Aziz Sharil comes on. It's only 3 players now from Malaysia left on that started the game. Shevchenko flicks it down the line. Malouda. Ami was big and strong and came for that. And released it quickly. Zamani, one of the players yet to be changed.
And I think if I had to choose a man of the match for Malaysia, it would be Zamani. His tackling has been superb. He's made hardly any fouls. He's read the game well. He's not the biggest player. Hasn't shown any fear.
Lejen takes the free kick quickly.
And still wants the ball in the 85th minute. Well done.
Sinclair whips one in. Helmy scuttled along there to make sure that he wasn't troubled. We're going to see another change for Malaysia. Mohamed Ashari will come on. Putra is another player who's worked his socks off, will come off. This now just giving game time to the boys and giving them that experience to be in this big atmosphere, isn't
honour,
it?
experience. Get a shirt at the end of the game.
Taken short. Into that near post, headed away from Zamani. Sinclair coming from an offside position to an onside position, which means it's going to be offside. Free kick for Malaysia. 9 minutes of this game now. Just 2.5 minutes left, plus stoppage time.
Hasn't been too many injuries.
I don't think there's been any injuries, and the game's been played in such a fantastic fashion, really, for both sets of players. Lejen to Mikel. The forwards looking for goal. Just a little bit too far, though. We do know that the next two games Chelsea will play in Moscow, Lokomotiv Moscow on the 1st of August. Then on the 3rd they'll play either AC Milan or Sevilla. The winner of that game in the mini tournament there in Moscow will be the second game of that tour. Season kicks off for Chelsea on the 17th at home against Portsmouth. That's going to be a big test for them against Harry Redknapp's outfit. Then they've got Wigan away, then their first local derby the following week, Spurs at home. Biggest game of the season for them coming up so far will be the 21st of September. Mark that in your diaries. They will be playing against Manchester United at home. Still going to hold on here though for a couple of minutes and shut out Malaysia. That's exactly what they'll want to do.
Don't shoot.
Zarudin clips one up to the far post. Might as well have shot Steve.
In hindsight, yes.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Into the last minute of this game. Malaysia doing themselves proud and doing the country proud. Really showing a good account of themselves and making it very, very difficult for Chelsea to penetrate them and get through them. They did have opportunities, but Helmy in goal has been fantastic as well. That said, Malaysia had opportunities as well, as Scott Sinclair looks to make a name for himself. Little give and go from Shevchenko. He's asking for the free kick because Sinclair was upended.
It's interesting that Chelsea haven't looked as dangerous as soon as Anelka went off. So if they lose Anelka...
Well, the news is about Drogba, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
If they lose him as well. Obviously, Drogba not being risked on this tour due to injury. 2 minutes stoppage time will be added at the end of this. Could be a chance. Could be a big chance, but Asari just couldn't sort his feet out quickly enough.
Worth a try, going past people. A little bit of bad luck there, cannoned off the shin.
Pre-season tournament then, or a good pre-season tour for Chelsea, as Shevchenko finds himself in. That was a fantastic ball. Is that a penalty? It certainly looked like it. The referee waves play on. What a ball through from Alex that was, right on the chest of Andrei Shevchenko. Ashley Cole there.
Knew that one was coming. Yeah.
And Nabi Mikel gets blown up. Sorry, Michael Essig gets blown up for the challenge there.
Shevchenko through his first touch let him down.
Just needed to open himself up a little bit more, didn't he?
And a good rescuing tackle there by Subramani.
One ball forwards from Zairo. Not going to catch out Mr. Consistency. That's what Jose Mourinho calls Paulo Ferreira. You can always mark him down on the card as a 7 out of 10. That was why he was brought to the club initially. And he obviously knows Luis Felipe Scolari well after playing for the Portuguese national team. Great skills here as Malaysia looks to come forward. Zamani, who's stepped into a midfield role. A little layout from Zakwan. Can Malaysia create something in the dying seconds? Ashley Cole comes across, just pokes it away. Sari with the ball. Is there going to be one last lunge for Malaysia for glory? The body strength again of Alex, just holding off Zakwan. Quite eminent as the final whistle goes. And Steve, it's been a Samsung Chelsea Asian Tour 2008 that's seen them play 3 games. They've scored 13 goals, they've yet to concede a goal. But again, they've come here, they've done themselves proud. They've reached out there with the brand. They've played against Malaysia, who've given a great account of themselves. How do you think they're going to go in this coming season?
Well, the worry is the strikers, isn't it? What, Nelka gets injured or gets sulky, there's no Drogba. They didn't look deadly, did they, without those 2 players? But when Elka was on, there was always something on. But overall, I think you've got to say, fantastic achievement by Malaysia. It's a football result, 2-0. You know, you get beat 2-0 sometimes. And they showed character, discipline, attitude. If anybody moans about these fellas, they don't understand football.
So here at the Shah Alam Stadium in Kuala Lumpur, the final score in the final game of the 3-game tour that Chelsea have played is Malaysia 0, Chelsea 2.
Welcome back to Astro Supersport. There you have it. Our match at the Shah Alam Stadium has ended with a win for Chelsea. So winning note for their final game in Asia, Shabby, for their tour.
So all in all, I would say at this moment in time, you know, unless they improve tremendously over the next couple of weeks, I don't think that your Man United have anything to fear.
Right. And of course, the player coming on in the second half, Ashley Cole, there's a fight between Cole and Wayne Bridge down the left-hand side. But it looks like Ashley Cole will win hands down in that battle.
Well, he's obviously first choice, you know, and when he came down, he worked very, very hard. Wayne Bridge had more time in the first half, but did not use the ball too well. Second half, Ashley Cole came on, but it was good to see Shafizan Hashim getting on. You know, he's normally a left back for Kedah, but he came on at right back, and he kept Ashley Cole quiet, kept Malouda quiet for long periods. A lot more positives from the Malaysian team than from Chelsea.
Right, and of course the changes brought on by Satyanathan, bringing on Khairul Muhaimin, as well as Zakwan up front, proved vital in the second half, as well as they did create some anxious moment at back for Chelsea.
Well, I mean, these are the players who should be shouldering Malaysia's challenge. I'm very surprised as to why Khairul Muhaimin, you know, does not get a starting position. And Zakwan as well. I mean, these boys have been playing together now for almost 5 years. They've got better understanding, and we saw that, Zaina, with the changes, with the younger boys coming on, we saw, you know, that they've got the discipline, and again, that, you know, these young boys are the ones who should carry the challenge.
And we're just waiting for the prize giving now, and confirmation there, Frank Lampard being given the Samsung Man of the Match, the official from Samsung just handing him the plug for the Man of the Match there, Shabby.
Well, once again, a consistent performance from Frank Lampard. Not brilliant, a consistent performance. Didn't get forward as much as he normally does, but that is credit to Malaysia for denying him the space. And once again, I mean, a big name player like that is what the Malaysian fans have come to see. And I think they will have enjoyed watching him play.
You were spot on your prediction, 2-0 win for Chelsea. But I recall you mentioning that we can score a goal now that Lampard has gone off.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, you know, he was very dangerous in that he was the most creative midfielder. And as soon as he went off, I thought, now we have a chance. And yes, indeed, we began to pass the ball a little better in midfield. We had more possession in midfield. Like I said again, Zainal, I mean, more positives for Malaysia than for Chelsea in this game. I think deep down inside the Chelsea players will be disappointed. It's not about the scoreline, but the overall performance. I don't think they looked especially slick in their passing. I don't think the understanding was there, because they always were looking up to see, who is running into space, who should be passed the ball to. So there is still time to work on that, but the fluidity was missing from their game.
And the Chelsea player now just making their way to receive their winner's medal from, I believe, His Royal Highness the Sultan of Pahang, or could it be the Sultan of Selangor? But Shabby, if you were to choose, it is His Royal Highness the Sultan of Pahang giving away the medals to the Chelsea players. If you were to choose a player on the Malaysian side who you would give the man of the match to, who would it be, Shabby?
Well, I would have given it, in my opinion, I would have given it to Muhammad Aidil Zafwan, the centre-back. I thought he had a very, very good game. Yes, Hafiz Zamani stayed on the entire 90 minutes, but in my opinion, Aidil Zafwan looks like, he's going to impose himself on games as a defender. He's very, very composed. He's quick in the tackle as well, and he likes coming out of defense with the ball. I thought he had a very, very good game. Of course, Helmi Eliza had so much more to do in the first half,
right, yes.
And he will be surprised. I think Helmi Eliza will be thinking, is it always this easy to play against Chelsea? Because he didn't really have to do too much in the second half.
But just recalling what Scolari mentioned in the interview which we saw earlier on in the program, Shabi, this is only a practice match for them as they prepare for the real competitive match, which should be against Lokomotiv Moscow, their first real match, he said.
Well, indeed, what he meant was that he would have had enough time to work with the boys, enough time to instill his footballing philosophy on them, and that is when he would expect them, under familiar conditions in Europe, play against Lokomotiv, who are right now in mid-season. So he's going to go there and play against a team that is well into the season, a team that's playing at their very best at the highest level, and that will be a major challenge.
Perhaps a chance for us to see as well who might be the core to this Chelsea side. Shabby, the top 11, of course, missing is Didier Drogba. Do you see him fitting straight into Scolari's style of coaching?
I would think so, Zainal. Because I thought they lacked that strong target man. That strong man who can hold the ball up, who can create problems of his own. Yes, Anelka had a good game by reasonable standards. I don't think he was exceptional. He looked lively. He looked slightly sharper. But I still feel that Drogba will be first choice. Frank Lampard, without a shadow of a doubt, is going to be a mainstay. John Terry at the back, and Michael Essien and John Obi Mikel is the big one. To me, this young lad has progressed tremendously. So much so that I look at him and he looks like he could run that midfield area. He could command that front sweeper position for many years to come.
The Minister of Youth and Sports, Dato' Ismail Sabri, is also there to congratulate our Malaysian team. Really, they can hold their heads up high, Shabby, in this performance. As Steve Darby has mentioned, 2-0 is a footballing scoreline.
Well, indeed it is, and to come out there, to have a game plan, to stick to your tactical discipline is very, very important, and very importantly also the fact that there's simply no pressure coming into this game. The boys went out there, they played well. I mean, this man here, Helmi, was superb in the first half. Second half, he had a holiday, and I think he'll be very appreciative of that. Yes, some very good performances, but I must also stress this, that performances like the one that Amirul Hadi put in, Zainal, shows that there is a future there. Given the right guidance, given the right opportunities, they can progress.
We talked about the young ones, Shabby. Several older players like Harudin Omar there, who certainly would be, perhaps reaching towards the end of their career.
Yeah, I was very surprised when he was recalled into the team, but it's pretty obvious now from what we saw that unfortunately, international football is something that Khairuddin is going to struggle with. But no disrespect to him, it's not easy to come back from all the injuries that he has had, and still be able to play at that level. So some disappointing performances from the older players, and this certainly has to be taken into account, because you really want to build a team, that is going to be there for the next 3-4 years. So the long-term planning. In that sense, I think there's some very good players. I mean, Amirul Hadi, we've already spoken about him. Asraruddin came in at left back and looked very, very comfortable. Shafizan as well. So Aidil Zafwan and his brothers, his twin Zakwan, when they came on. So like I said, I mean, there were a lot of positives, and that's something that, I'm very, very proud of.
Shebi, a short comment, just a short one on Satyanaden.
Well, I personally feel, that he perhaps will be out of his depth a little bit in international football. But then again, I mean, this is not slighting him. It is for him now to raise his level, because there will be more competitive matches. This was a friendly, and it's a great result. It's a good performance. Let's not go overboard with that, because in Malaysia we have a tendency to go overboard, Zainal, and that restricts our progress and our growth. So for these boys, they will have to be told, forget this game now, it's all over. Now let's look at the likes of Thailand and Indonesia and Vietnam, because we are going to play them come November, December.
And just looking at the way our Malaysian team have performed today against this international side, Chelsea, I would say there's probably a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel, Shebi.
Well, most certainly, Zainal, because there were a lot of players who came on into the game, who have been together now. They've been growing up together from the time they were 18. Now they're well into their early 20s.
Right, yes.
So you can see that understanding. And then other players, like Shafizan, who is from Kedah. And I think there are one or two more outside of this national team who can come in and contribute. I'm talking about Ahmad Fauzi Shari, fantastic midfielder for Kedah. I think he's got a job to play. He's got a role to play. I think Bunyamin Omar can do a job in central midfield. Yes, and I would love to see Amirul Hadi, Bunyamin Omar, Ahmad Fauzi Shari in the Malaysian midfield, because I think then we will have a lot more than what Hadi Jafar, Indra Putra and Khairuddin Omar or Shuko Adan gives us. So there is a young core now, Zainal, in my opinion, who are ready to put pressure on the seniors and make the positions their own.
Some of the game statistics, Shabi, the 2 goals by Chelsea, enough to beat Malaysia in this game here today at the Shah Alam Stadium. Shots on goal by Chelsea 6-4.
Well, that's a good stat, because we've got 4, and shots off target. I mean, we had more shots off target. Amirul Hadi himself had 3. So there's again, Zainal, there is a lot of positives in there. Yes, the defending should be better on this one. But once again, I mean, as you said, Zainal, you play against quality players. A dummy there from Frank, thinking, and the 2 centre backs, they think he's going to shoot. They allow him to pass the ball to Ashley Cole.
What was he doing in that position, Sheb?
Well, he knew after the way Wayne Bridge played in the first half, Ashley knew that he's got to come up with a bigger performance, which he did. And this, for me, I mean, in a situation like this, Zainal, you've got to give credit to the goalkeeper. It's a great save. The ball comes through, and Zakwan tries to side-foot it past the goalkeeper, as any striker would have tried to do. But because Czech is so big, he blocks the shot.
Amirul Hadi also had a chance, but it was a little bit tamely, and a wild shot there, Shabi. This one again is Indra Putra Mahyudin, I think, with the shot there.
Well, getting it on target, and this for me is a super save from by Helmi from Michael Essien, because he stands up until the last minute, doesn't commit himself, and then he makes a block from Essien, which I thought was really something that shows that Helmi is mature beyond his years.
And Shabi, I'm sure the Chelsea fan would like you to clarify a little bit more that on Chelsea's challenge on the English Premier League for next season.
Well, I think today, Zainal, there will be a lot of disappointed Chelsea fans. They would have come out there, they would have expected a much better performance, a performance with more urgency possibly. They would have expected maybe 1 or 2 more goals. but it was not what they would have expected. And to be honest, Zainal, I look at this team and I think, they've still got a long way to go. In the next 2 weeks, they've got to work very much harder.
And we saw Shevchenko's performance in the second half when he was introduced. What do you think his future would be looking like with Scolari with that kind of performance?
No, I mean, to be honest, he looked like a 50-year-old. He was moving. To see him moving around the pitch is as painful as watching Steve Darby walk. So he really looked out of sorts. And Zainal, it's 2 weeks before the season starts, or maybe 3 weeks before the season starts, and he's not even 50%. I'm sorry to say that, but Sheva looked out of sorts.
And perhaps the Chelsea fan will be looking forward as well to the game in Moscow by this Chelsea side. A real opportunity for them to actually sample perhaps the starting lineup for Chelsea, the best 11, perhaps the core for the team.
You have to now. I mean, the team structure is in place. One or two positions will be what Scolari will be thinking about. But when they start off against Lokomotiv in that friendly game, he will start off with the team which he feels will be the team that will go out and play against Portsmouth on the 17th of August.
And Shebi, a final word from you. Chelsea for all the 4 titles next season?
Zainal, today after this performance, I don't think so. I think they'll be very lucky if they can win one.
Right, okay, thank you, Shebi. Thanks for coming in. And that's about it from us for now from the Shah Alam Stadium. The final score, of course, Malaysia 0, Chelsea 2. From myself, Dan Albas, and all the working crew here at Astro Supersport is goodbye for now.